Hello, my friends. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday. I just wanted to stop by and say what's up and also talk about a question that I keep getting. It's what might be stopping me from lucid dreaming, because I know there's a lot of people that may be trying to lucid dream, and for some reason it is a bit harder to reach the lucidity state. So I wanted to dive into that. I also did want to let you guys know that I am starting my own show on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness Network, probably within the next couple weeks. So stay in tune for that, and make sure to go check out their page if you haven't. There's amazing people on there, and I think it will be really, really fun. And anyone who is not subscribe to my YouTube channel, not only would it really help me out, but I have been working really, really hard to provide a lot of information on there. And I just posted the easiest lucid dreaming technique yesterday on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked it out, you can find me at The Lucid Mystic. And I will be posting every Saturday onto YouTube, so that way you kind of know where to find me, what days I'll be doing what. And I know these lives are kind of just like sporadic, but once I am on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness Network doing my own show, I'll be doing that once a week as well. So there's a couple ways that you can find me. So let's talk about what might be stopping you from lucid dreaming, because I know, like I said, a lot of people have tried to lucid dream, and for some reason it is a little bit hard. And so I don't have any notes written down. I'm just going to let you guys know what I think, because I've definitely been here. I had to really dive in and experiment and research as much as I can. And really the most important thing is just experimenting and see what works and what doesn't work. And so these are some of the things that I found that might be preventing you from lucid dreaming. The first thing, it is probably your sleeping cycle. That is one thing that stops a lot of us from lucid dreaming, is we don't have a steady sleep cycle, and our habits before we go to bed really interfere with our lucidity practice. If you notice you go to bed way late, you might not dream. But if you sleep a really long time, you might have lots of dreams. It's very, very random, right? And so we have to kind of figure out a formula that helps get us lucid consistently. And so I don't know if you guys have seen my video that I did about 7 tips for insomnia, but all of that not only helps you with getting rid of insomnia, but it also helps you with lucid dreaming. So the first thing on there, well, I don't know exactly what order I said that video in, but I'm just going to start going through the list. So the first thing is eating heavy foods before bed. If you're trying to lucid dream and you're eating a ton of food right before bed, it's probably going to be a little bit harder for you to lucid dream. And that's because when we eat a lot of food and we go directly to bed, it takes a lot of energy, and our body can't actually focus on more than one thing at one time, efficiently anyways. And so it kind of takes away the energy that could be used towards your dreams and has to try to digest the food. So I'd recommend not eating at least 2 hours before you go to bed. The next thing is, a lot of people think that melatonin supplements actually help your sleeping cycle. Melatonin actually disrupts your sleeping cycle. And the reason why is because in a melatonin supplement, there's so much melatonin in such a condensed small tablet that when we just take melatonin on its own in a capsule form, the body can't absorb it. And so it actually just doesn't do anything, and it doesn't help us at all. And actually, if we take in too much melatonin, that's way more than the body needs, and it can actually disrupt our sleeping cycle. So if you're taking melatonin, I would definitely recommend trying to get melatonin from a natural source. This is mushrooms. Pistachios actually has the highest melatonin content. Dark cherries, almonds, almond milk. And the reason why you want to get it from a natural source is because it starts off as the compound tryptophan, and the body naturally turns it into melatonin. So try to switch out your melatonin supplements if you can. And if you are using a melatonin supplement and you want ways to just increase the likelihood that you'll be able to go to sleep on time and actually stay asleep, then I would definitely recommend valerian root, because valerian root is extremely powerful. It's a completely natural herb, and it helps with anxiety, stress, overthinking, sleep, and dream recall. And you can just get that on Amazon. It's super cheap, maybe like less than $10 for a bottle of 250 tablets. So it's definitely probably more affordable than melatonin, and it works way more efficiently. I'll catch the replay of this with headphones. I'm practically deaf at the moment. I've missed your lives. No worries. Thanks for showing up and hanging out, Ashley. And thanks to all of you guys for hanging out. And remember, you can ask any questions in the chat. on my page, whatever, about your lucidity practice, because I'm creating a lucid dream team, and I really want it to be a team of dreamers that are working on building up their lucidity together. So keep that in mind. Bill says if you take too much melatonin, the body stops making as much of it. Yep, so then you stop and you're way too low. Yep, so it kind of throws the entire thing off. It doesn't just throw your sleeping cycle off, but it kind of throws your body's ability to produce natural melatonin. And another way that I found that really increases melatonin is going to bed with a sleeping mask, because I don't know if you guys have heard of like the sunset method or anything like that, but if you have a hard time going to sleep, it might be because you're interacting with too much blue light, which is what technology produces. And so at least 2 hours before bed, you kind of want to find other things to do besides use technology, even though I know it's really hard, right, sometimes, because a lot of my work is on my laptop, so it's kind of hard to get away from it. But what that's doing is basically it kind of goes into the brain in a different way. Your brain, even if it's like 3 in the morning, it still thinks that it's daytime because of these blue lights. And so if you go on a walk at sunset, for example, as the sun is going down, that enters your pineal gland, and it basically tells your body that it's getting ready to go to bed, or it's almost time to go to sleep. And so kind of reading or meditating or journaling, I mean, these are all things that I like to do. Yoga, just drinking tea and just kicking it. Like, find different ways a couple hours before bed to set you up for the lucid dream, because it's all about not just getting lucid, but it's all about the preparation. That's what's going to help you succeed in consistent lucidity. So aside from like techniques and reality checks, we're basically setting up a solid foundation by doing this. So we're more likely to not only remember our dreams, but be able to influence our dreams. So keep that in mind about technology. And if you guys haven't seen the video that I did on this, it's on my YouTube channel called 7 Tips for Insomniacs or something like that. It's a yellow thumbnail. I'm sure you'll find it. But it's very important what we do before sleep. And I know that a lot of people take CBD gummies or oil or THC in some form or certain medications, and all of this can actually, and alcohol, and this can actually disrupt your sleeping cycle. So if you are taking certain medications and you don't know why you're not dreaming, I would at least look into that medication to see if it suppresses REM. That way you know at least why your dreams are not as strong as they should be. So keep that in mind. And when you stop taking a supplement, like when you stop smoking weed or drinking alcohol as much, you go into what's called REM rebound. So all of the REM sleep that you were missing out on the entire time you were taking that substance, you actually get all of that REM back the next couple days. So after you stop smoking or drinking or anything like that, or taking a certain medication, you'll actually increase your REM like threefold. Like, it will be really, really powerful dreams. And so that is something that I would definitely recommend looking into, because if you're someone who needs CBD or THC or anything like this, you can still lucid dream, but you'll just have to do it a little bit more strategically, because unfortunately dreaming and things like that, a lot of natural supplements sometimes don't always go together. So make sure to look into that. The next thing is exercise, because if we have insomnia, it's going to be pretty hard to go to sleep, right? It kind of makes it hard to lucid dream or even dream at all if we're not asleep. And so just finding a way to tire your body out, because you're more likely to be able to fall asleep a lot easier if you do the pre-work before that. Like for me, I'll do yoga or I'll do literally anything. And I'm basically, when I go to bed, I want my body to just like sink in the bed. And it's only going to do that if I do the work to tire it out. And then if my mind is still awake, this is a good way to induce sleep paralysis if there's anybody who wants to try to induce sleep paralysis for a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience. Because if you can keep your conscious mind awake, but your body's so tired it falls asleep really fast, then you're in the perfect state to have a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience. So exercising or doing some sort of exercise really does help. And it's not like, oh, just eat really well, don't eat 2 hours before bed and exercise. Like, this is actually how we can create the solid foundation to induce lucid dreams. Hey, Nate, what's going on? Hey, Lisa. Hey, everyone. Keith, Deborah. So keep that in mind, because I can't tell you how many times someone has put hours and hours and hours and hours into learning lucid dreaming, but they're smoking, or they're waking up to try the technique at the wrong time, or it could literally be anything. So I'm here to help you kind of troubleshoot what's going on in your lucidity practice so we can correct that. The next thing is REM, what I was talking about. REM stands for rapid eye movement stage of sleep, and this is the stage in which we sleep, dream, and experience sleep paralysis. So this is basically our lightest stage of sleep, and our mind is actually more active in this state than when we are physically awake, consciously awake. So if we can target our REM stage and actually wake up in our REM stage, we'll wake up right out of REM dreaming sleep, and we'll be able to go back to bed, go immediately back into REM dreaming sleep, but this time keep a little bit of consciousness. So we can actually go into the dream state while we are conscious and actually watch the entire process happen, which is really interesting. So REM occurs every 90 minutes of sleep, and it occurs about 5 to 6 times in a normal sleeping cycle. So if you sleep for about 8 hours, you'll probably go into REM about 6 times. As the night progresses, as you're getting closer to waking up, your REM stages get longer, and the longest REM stage is actually 60 minutes. And the lucid dream time compared to waking time is actually super similar. They did a test on this, so if it feels like you've been in the lucid dream for 60 minutes, you probably have. That's the really cool thing about lucid dreaming. And so if you time the time that you wake up correctly, you will be able to induce a lucid dream using the wild technique, or the wake-induced lucid dream technique. And it's actually one of the most advanced techniques, only because you don't have really any sleep. I mean, you do, if you choose to wake up and then go back to sleep and do this technique, then you have a little bit of sleep. But I mean, you're literally laying down with your eyes closed, seeing the entire dream form in front of you while you keep consciousness the entire time. And then all of a sudden you get put into this virtual world that is this huge 3D reality, and you can just do anything you want. It can get extremely, extremely powerful. And if you learn how to master the wild technique, that's actually guaranteed stability and control in your dreams, because you have so much awareness, because you're not all foggy and hazy from realizing you were dreaming during sleep. I mean, you were awake as you went through the entire process. So you most likely won't have to do any really control or stabilization techniques if you induce a lucid dream this way. So I'm going to be talking about that more on my YouTube. I just released a video on the technique mild, or mnemonic induced lucid dream technique, and this was invented by Stephen LaBerge, but there's a million different versions of this technique. And so I wanted to break down the technique in the easiest way possible, because lucid dreaming can be really easy if we just do the foundations and the basics of it. And so I cut out stuff that we don't really need in that technique, and I created my own kind of more efficient way, is how I would put it. There's literally like 3 steps to that technique, and it's so easy. And I have talked about it on live before, but if you don't remember that conversation, I know we talk a lot, so you'll probably not, then you can go check that out on my YouTube, and I can also post that for you guys down below. But there's at least 10 techniques that I want to teach you guys about. So, and a lot of the time you don't even have to use a technique to induce a lucid dream, because if you're creating the habit of awareness and critical thinking, and you're already writing your dreams down, you're already going to have a lucid dream. All of this is just extra stuff to like really make your lucidity practice OP. I mean, if you're already having really good dream recall, you know those dreams, you guys, where it's like it literally feels like a movie? Like it feels like you're this close to becoming conscious that you are dreaming, because it's so vivid, it's so real, everything is so crisp. You can turn those dreams easily into lucid dreams as long as you're writing your dreams down and looking for dream signs, just reading through your dream journal. You can lucid dream. It really isn't that hard. I know there's some people that aren't remembering their dreams, and when I tell them to get a dream journal, they're like, well, that doesn't make sense, because how am I supposed to start a dream journal if I don't remember my dreams yet? That's what I'm trying to build. Well, you actually don't need to be remembering dreams to start a dream journal. Dream journaling is basically a memory practice. It's an exercise that you do every day. And so what you're basically doing is training yourself to remember things that happened during sleep. If you woke up in the middle of the night, if you remember any thoughts, feelings, images, emotions, shapes, colors while you were sleeping or as you were getting up, the last thought that you had before bed, I mean, you can write any of that in your dream journal. Anything that you remember surrounding your sleep, you're going to put in your dream journal, because that's helping you exercise your memory from sleep, which is obviously associated with your dream memory as well. And even just trying to remember your dreams, you will notice you will start to be able to remember dreams. It really is all about the expectation and the intent. If we don't try to remember our dreams, how are we supposed to remember our dreams? It's like learning a skill. If we don't try to learn that skill, are we ever going to learn that skill? No, but all it takes is effort and consistency, right? For literally any skill. And learning how to lucid dream and even remembering your dreams can happen within a day, 2 days, a week, a month. Like, it really doesn't take that long, but it is up to you and how much effort you put into it and how important it is. But it can be super, super easy. And that's kind of the information that I want to bring to you guys. I want it to be easy for you guys. I want it to be fun, and I want it to be effective. I don't want you to have to waste your time trying to meditate for 3 hours, trying to induce sleep paralysis. If like, I want to be able to break down these issues. Like I didn't really have anyone to tell me how to lucid dream. I mean, on the internet, there's so much information that's just fluff. There's some true information in there. Like, it's kind of hard to decipher what is actually effective and what's not. So that's what I tried to bring to you guys, because I've spent a lot of times, hours and hours and hours and hours, and probably days, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and just by pure experimenting. And yeah, there were hours wasted by doing this, but I mean, was it really wasted? Because it kind of helped me figure out, okay, this is what helps most people. This is what helped me. This doesn't really do anything. So that's what I'm trying to create for you guys. And anyone who doesn't know, I do have a 40-part video lucid dreaming video course, and we would actually work one-on-one together through that process as well. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check out the course, because it's super rad, you guys. It's already 40 videos, and I'm going to be adding some stuff within dream yoga and astral travel in there as well. So it's basically like your all-in-one dream package. Anything surrounded by your sleep, dream interpretation, talking to your subconscious, rewiring your brain, practicing skills in the lucid dream, practicing dream yoga, learning how to turn the lucid dreams into astral travel experiences, accessing the Akashic records, using this whole dream state to actually change your life. That's what I'm creating. So if you have any questions about that, or that's something that interests you, definitely let me know, and we will start our journey together. I took too long to write one down the other day and forgot the dream, but I remember it was very vivid since September 27th and keeping track, and it is fun rereading them. Yeah, it's super fun rereading your dreams, and as long as you're trying to, I always recommend to write your dreams down in the morning, because I'm sure most of you have experienced having a very vivid dream, and you think it's so vivid you'll actually be able to remember it later and write it down, but then you forget it. And that's because our dreams happen in our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind opens during sleep, but when we wake up and we start interacting with our phone, or we get out of bed, your brain is taking in a lot of sensory information, and it opens up your conscious mind, which in turn closes your subconscious. So that means you're closing all of your dreams into your subconscious mind. So that's why if you are just sitting there and all of a sudden your dreams start to come with you, it's because you're not engaging with a ton of things at once, and you're actually letting that information flow a little bit easier. This is also why dream recall meditations also work, because you're quieting your conscious mind down, you're opening your subconscious, you're letting the information flow to you. And so those are a couple ways that you can practice remembering your dreams. But as long as you write something down, it doesn't even have to be a dream. Just write something down in the morning. Even if you forgot it, just write down, I remembered my dream earlier, but I took too long to write down and I forgot. I remember this and this, but that's all I remember. I mean, you can write down anything you want, but make sure you get the basis of the dream written down, because you're going to actually use that to induce lucid dreams. Your dream journal is not just for the exercise of dream memory, but you're actually going to use it as a technique to get lucid actually consistently, because you can look at the patterns within your dreams, and we can build awareness around those patterns. You can read back in your dream journal and see if there's anything prophetic or anything that makes sense now that didn't make sense when you had your dream. You can really take a lot of information from your dreams and use it to enhance not only your dreaming experience, but your waking life as well, because our subconscious mind controls 95% of our life. But we don't use our subconscious really in the waking state. We use the 5% of our conscious mind that we have available. So what is in the 95% that could help us change our life? It's basically everything about us. I mean, we live subconsciously. You think you're making your own decisions right now, but actually that's because of the subconscious programming within your brain. And so lucid dreaming gives you access to see behind the scenes of this subconscious programming, so you can interact with it. You can change things, shift things around, get rid of what doesn't serve you, bring in what does serve you. That's why lucid dreaming is so powerful, because it gives us access to a part of our brain that we don't really have when we are awake. It's hard to access. We can reach similar states in like very deep meditation, but lucid dreaming is very accessible. You can do it during sleep, and eventually you don't even have to try. Once you create the habit surrounding lucid dreaming, you literally create a habit of lucid dreaming. A habit of awareness equals habit of lucid dreaming, because if we're aware in our waking state, we're going to bring that awareness into our dreams. And what does aware dreams mean? It means we're aware of what's happening around us. So it's all based around mindfulness, really. Because we live on autopilot in our waking life, and so we think we're awake in the dream. Do you ever stop and question if you're actually awake right now? Or do you just assume you're awake because of the world around you? You probably assume that you're awake a lot of the time, right? And so that's what we do in our lucid dreams, because that's what we've been subconsciously programmed to do, because we've always done that. We've never questioned if this is an illusion or if we're awake right now. So when we're building that habit, we actually want to start to question our surroundings, because lucid dreaming shows you that you should never take what you see as something that's real or physical. The lucid dream is technically an illusion, but it's so real it convinces us it's real. This state is also an illusion. So if we can learn to use that and kind of see past that illusion, we'll be able to realize when we're dreaming a lot easier, because we're used to breaking down the reality around us and seeing if it's actually real or not. This is why people who play video games are actually really good at lucid dreaming, because they're used to using their critical thinking skills and they're used to maneuvering around a 3D virtual reality. So even though I wouldn't recommend playing video games all the time, it can actually help you realize when you are in a dream. That's an interesting study that I looked over. And as you guys know, my boyfriend is a huge gamer, and I'm trying to get him into lucid dreaming. I'm like, oh my God, you'd be so good at it. Just try it out. But hopefully that seed is planted and he'll have a spontaneous lucid dream. And I believe that's all it really takes for people. If someone's not really into lucid dreaming, I just believe it's because they naturally have them and they can't control it, or they've never experienced one before. But it's all about learning how to use this state. I mean, I meet people that have lucid dreamed their entire life but had no idea about the healing, and they actually were contacting me to see how they can stop having lucid dreams. But I didn't want to just tell them how to stop having lucid dreams first. I really wanted to probe why they wanted to stop having lucid dreams, and they just said, I get bored. There's nothing to do. I just sit there, so I just want to wake up. But little do they know, this is such a powerful state they can actually use to change their lives. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that you could heal or practice skills. And that's why I want to give this information to you, because even if you are lucid dreaming, there's most likely something in here that would be beneficial to you that you can use in your practice. So let me go back and read. Okay. Are there any essentials that you would recommend to help with lucid dreaming? So do you mean like essential oils or essential things that you need to implant into your practice? Because if we're talking like essential oils, then rosemary and mugwort is really, really amazing for dream recall and clarity in your dreams. If you're talking about anything essential for lucid dreaming, the main thing that is essential is a dream journal. So if you aren't writing your dreams down, it will probably be very, very hard for you to lucid dream. We really need to create that foundation of writing our dreams down. And even if we did lucid dream, we probably wouldn't remember it because we aren't building our dream recall, right? So that's the basis. Even if you're not interested in lucid dreaming, but you want to work with your dreams more, you want to be able to interpret them a little bit more, then you'll still want to write your dreams down. Yeah, mugwort tea is awesome. I also have the essential oil. I noticed that rosemary is very effective for more awareness in your dreams and heightened like self-awareness. So you're more likely to realize you're dreaming because you're more self-aware. So yeah, mugwort and rosemary is really, really good for that. And that's really it as far as like the essentials for like methods to use. Like dream journaling is literally the MVP, you guys. So yeah, I hope that all of you have a dream journal right now that you use every day. And sometimes you don't have time in the morning. Sometimes you'll just jot it in your phone and transfer it later. That's fine. But as soon as you get up, just notate your dream in some way, record it in some way, and you will be able to really start recalling your dreams within the next couple days. It really happens really, really fast. So, and I hope all the tips that I was giving you guys earlier helped. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Because I know there was like 7 main things. Let me try to find it. I have so much stuff in here. Oh, okay. I think I found it. Okay, yeah, watch out for melatonin supplements. Take more tryptophan. So as we talked about, tryptophan is the natural form of melatonin in foods. Make sure to exercise, which we talked about. That's super important. Even if you just like do a plank for like 3 minutes, it works. It counts. No heavy meals before bed. We talked about that. Have a dark room or sleeping mask. That one I definitely recommend, because that's going to also help you in the morning. Like when when you're waking up, but you haven't opened your eyes yet. If you have a sleeping mask on, your thinking mind will be activated, but your brain will actually still think you're asleep, or your body will still think you're asleep because you haven't moved and you haven't opened your eyes, and it's completely dark around you. So you're not taking in any sensory information. So when you start to go in the hypnagogic state, which is hypnagogic imagery, it's not no sunlight is interfering with your eyes because of your sleeping mask. You'll really be able to start to see when the colors form, and that will tell you when your body's actually getting closer to falling asleep. So sleeping masks are very important. If you don't have a sleeping mask, you can find some like makeshift one. That's what I did for a while, like those cloth headbands that are like completely circular, I used to use that as a sleeping mask. So just find a way to cover your eyes and that'll work. Oh yeah, understanding the rollover signal. So I'm not sure if there's anyone in here who doesn't know what the rollover signal is. I know we've talked about it a few times. But basically, like, that's kind of why people with insomnia, at least a lot of people with insomnia, have a hard time falling to sleep, because you always hear them say, oh, I was tossing and turning all night, like I couldn't get to sleep. And that's because as soon as our body starts to actually fall asleep, your brain sends your body what's called the rollover signal. So you'll randomly get the urge to move, itch, roll over, something like that. That's why it's called the rollover signal. So basically, your brain is like, hey, body, are you awake? What you have to do is not respond to the signal. So don't roll over, don't give into these urges, don't itch, don't try to do anything, because every time you interact with the signal, you're basically saying, no, I'm awake, don't put me in sleep paralysis, or no, I'm awake, just keep the body awake. But obviously, if we want to induce sleep paralysis, lucid dreaming, or an out-of-body experience, then we need to pretend that we're asleep. And what would you do when you're asleep? If you got an itch in the middle of the night, but you were asleep, you probably wouldn't respond to it. You'd probably hold still, you'd leave your breathing alone because you're unconscious. So basically, you want to try to replicate that. And after a couple minutes, your body's going to be like, oh, okay, seems like you're asleep. All right, well, we can get that sleep paralysis rolling now. And then you get to witness it consciously and use it for a technique. So that's why the rollover signal is super important, because I know a lot of people will lay there. Yeah, right, Monica. And it was really hard for me before. But what helped me is, anytime you have an itch, like even when you're awake or in meditation, try not to interact with it, because this is training your brain to gain some self-control so you don't give in to the itches when you're going through the sleep paralysis state. And I know it can be really hard. It was so frustrating before, because I'd feel my body getting super heavy. I would feel the vibrations, and then like my leg would twitch, or I would like swallow. And as you guys know, if you like swallow your spit wrong or whatever, I don't know why, it like wakes you up, because your body's like, oh, never mind, you're awake, let's take you out of sleep paralysis. And so on all my astral projection videos on YouTube, this has always been a huge problem for everyone. Like, what do I do with my spit? Like, do I just keep it in my mouth? And so it's all about finding the perfect balance with that and not putting too much attention to it. Putting attention towards it is what's going to ruin it, because if you're almost in sleep paralysis and you have like so much saliva in your mouth and you're constantly thinking about, oh God, it's going to happen, I'm going to ruin it, then you're so distracted in your mind, it actually wakes you up. And I know I've done that a million times. So trying to find something else to focus on, and just, I know it's easier said than done, but if you can master this, you can literally get into sleep paralysis so quick and induce an out-of-body experience. But it's definitely something to practice with. So like I said, like when you're going throughout the day, if you have a really bad itch or something, try not to itch it, just as like a exercise for self-control, because it's like, it will come in handy later. If you want to induce these things, it will, I promise. So if you're like uncomfortable, try to just like chill with it for a sec in whatever situation you see fit that benefits your sleep paralysis practice. But that's one thing that I definitely recommend, is don't give in to the rollover signal. If you guys haven't seen my video, one of my videos on how to induce sleep paralysis on YouTube, I go into the process. It's basically what I told you now, but if you want like a step-by-step formula, that's something you can look into. And then the last one I have on my list on this PowerPoint I made is aim for REM. So we also talked about that. So try to wake up in your REM. If you have like a free day where you can just wake up kind of early, I would definitely recommend doing that. And if you like, I know I've done this, like I wake up to do a technique at like 4 in the morning, but I'm so tired that I just turn the alarm off and I'm like, okay, 1 second, and then I just fall back asleep. I was so tired, that would have been a perfect time to get up, because if I just stay up for 5 minutes, I create just a sliver of awareness in my mind. And then as my body's like ready to go back to sleep, I can just think about something very slightly and actually witness my body going into full deep sleep again. So I should have gotten up. I know sometimes it's like, oh my God, it's cold, it's dark, I don't want to get out of bed at 4 a.m. But, it's something to experiment with. And if you don't want to get up in the middle of the night, like I said, you can get up after between like 4.5 to 6 hours of sleep, or 2 hours before you normally wake up. All you're trying to do is catch your body off guard. Don't always be waking up at the same time. I mean, it's good to have a steady sleeping cycle, but if there's a day you want to try a technique, try to change up the times you sleep, because that's going to make your REM kind of longer, because you're either sleeping longer, you go into your REM sooner, or you wake up during REM because you don't sleep through it. You're actually changing up your sleep, so you'll actually get a lot of success with that. One thing to be careful of is not constantly waking up the same time every single day. Like a while ago, when I was first learning how to lucid dream, like years and years ago, I would always go to bed at the same time, and I'd always wake up at 4:30 in the morning. And it worked for a while, but then my body got so adapted to waking up at 4:30 in the morning that it would go through all its deep sleep and its REM sleep, so it could wake up at that time. And so you want to kind of play around with it, and don't be super consistent with the time you set your alarm to wake up. But yeah, that's pretty much the basis of what you'll need to do to set up the foundation to be able to lucid dream. So I hope that made sense. This stuff is really easy, and it's more helpful than anything. I mean, making sure you don't eat heavy foods, giving yourself time to write in a notebook or read or do something besides just be on your computer. It's teaching you to have a steady sleeping cycle, be more mindful, use your creative mind. I mean, in the lucid dream, we're using total right brain, right? Total right brain. And it's really good for people who don't think they have creativity, because when you go in the lucid dream, you're like, oh my God, everything I see here was created by me. Every tree, the breeze, the wind that I'm feeling on my face, the people that are talking to me, the conversations I'm having with dream characters, all of it was created by me. So it really gives you a lot of power and shows you that you are the creator within this state. And a lot of the things within lucid dreaming we can really use in our waking life. I mean, in the lucid dream, we have to maintain awareness to be able to experience it. And it kind of sounds like waking life. We have to be mindful in order to actually fully experience life, right? In the lucid dream, we have total control. Whatever we intend and expect to happen manifests. Same thing within our 3D reality, except obviously it takes a little bit longer because the 3D dimension is a lot more dense than the lucid dream. So just like you can create your reality in your dreams, you can also create your own reality in waking life. And it's also based off expectation and intention, right? These states are super, super, super similar. And I feel like they really go together and they intertwine together, and they can be used for one another. So this is not just a hobby or something. This is literally a lifestyle, a lucidity lifestyle. Lucid dreaming is just a part of that. It's a branch on the entire tree. Really, you're doing so much through learning lucid dreaming. I mean, it's a perfect gateway for self-discovery, self-transcendence, shedding off everything that doesn't serve you anymore, finding out more about yourself, and really just becoming your best friend. A lot of us are scared to go into our mind. I've talked to people that are scared to experience their dreams, because they don't want to know what's inside their head. But once we break through that fear and realize how amazing and limitless we are, it becomes a playground. It's a playground where you can go every single night. There's no rules you have to follow. There's no laws of physics. It's what everyone's always been asking for, right? Oh, I wish there was a place where I could escape and create anything I wanted to and just relax. Like in Alice in Wonderland, she had that beautiful place to escape to. And it's kind of like, that's kind of how dreams are, lucid dreams, because not only are you just dreaming about something, it's not like that. Whoever's had a lucid dream knows it's literally like a place where you can escape to. You have your full conscious mind. You know that you're in the dream. You know you're in this other world, and it feels just like it would if you were actually awake. And I know that's crazy to imagine if you haven't had a lucid dream, but as soon as you have a lucid dream, your mind will be blown, because it really, really, really is like that. And it's super amazing to experience. And it's a natural part of our biology to dream. So if you don't think you can lucid dream, you can. If you sleep, you dream. And if you dream, you can lucid dream. Anybody can do it. And how cool would it be for us all to practice that, see what we can explore about ourselves, fucking ask ourselves. Like, one thing I did, which was really funny, is ask a dream character to tell me the funniest joke. Like, tell me the funniest joke I've ever heard. And I don't remember exactly what the joke was, but I remember that I woke up like laughing. So it's like, you can have fun in that state. You can literally do anything you want. It doesn't just have to be self-work. You can just use it to explore, because that's literally just as fun. I mean, really anything you want to do. You can use it to solve problems. Like, seriously, like, it's such a crazy state. That's why when people ask me, what can you do through lucid dreaming? I have to ask them a question in return and say, well, what do you want to create out of lucid dreaming? Because it'd be literally impossible for me to tell you everything that you can do within lucid dream. So it's a lot easier for you to tell me what you want to create, so I can help you work towards that. I dreamt that I made an outfit for my son. It was adorable. May try to make the outfit in 3D. Do it. That's seriously one of these exercises that I love. I am a painter, and so when I ask to see inspiration in my dreams, it will show me a painting that I haven't created yet. And if I have good dream recall, like we're practicing, I'll be able to visually remember what that looks like and recreate it. And you can even ask in your dream, what would be the most successful piece of artwork I could create? Help me step into my most successful timeline. What am I doing? Like, you can actually get this information, because time is non-linear. Like, if you're someone that's like, oh, that can't happen because that's not in the past, or that we're not in the future. Even Einstein says time is non-linear. It physically does not exist in this universe. It really doesn't. And so if that's truly the case, then that means we can interact with whatever timeline we want to that we're present in. That's why we can figure out where our emotional blockages started in the past, or what we're going to be doing in the future that will make us the most successful. And it's because all of that is happening at the same time. The past is now, the present is now, the future is now. Everything is within now. And the lucid dream really highlights that. Like, whatever you do or think in this specific moment right now is going to create the next second of your life, and the next second, and the next second. So you're always living within this moment right here. And so lucid dreaming can really give you an amazing opportunity to actually change the next thing that happens in your life, change how you feel about a situation, change your belief systems. It's literally reprogramming your brain, which means you're basically creating a new brain. Because if you had tons of anxiety before, if you had tons of addictions and habits, and you practiced lucid dreaming for 2 years and were able to completely rewire all of that, isn't that like two separate minds? Because the belief systems are different. The addictions are, one doesn't even have the addictions the other one had. The habits are different. Like, you literally can create new cells in your brain and fire new neurons that weren't fired before. So you can literally create your life from the inside out. If we go into the lucid dream, we can change things subconsciously and energetically, which will in turn reflect out physically. That's how it works, because like attracts like. Whatever energy we have creates our experience. And obviously energy comes first, because it's a lot lighter and less dense than the physical body. So we'll be able to change that first inside of ourselves, which will then project outwards physically. So it really can change your entire life. And this is no joke here. I mean, if any of you like interviews or documentaries, let me know, because I have so many regarding the science and the studying of these states. And I would love to share them with you if you want to dive more deep into the science of it and see how it's possible, because I know for some people, they want to see the proven numbers before they dive into something or really dedicate to something. And I'm like that as well. I like to see the science behind things, how things are studied, how things are proven. And so I have that information available to you with the lucid dream state, the out-of-body state, and just altered states of consciousness in general. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know, because it literally is like creating a whole new mind. Seriously. That's a scary thought going inside my head. It's actually a beautiful experience, because a lot of people think they're just anxiety or they're just depression, like they have a hard time getting past these physical things or these physical barriers they've picked up or created over time. But when you go into the lucid dream state, that's 95% more information they didn't know about. All of that can't just be anxiety and fear and doubt. They have a total right brain. Like, they have this huge unleashed creativity that they get to discover in the lucid dream. They get to discover how smart they are, that they actually had the answers to the problems they were looking for. And I'm not even kidding. Like, that's how I fixed the anxiety I was experiencing. I had really, really, really bad anxiety. I know, like, everyone says everyone has anxiety, but it was really bad. I couldn't even function at all, like really, really bad panic attacks. And this was years and years ago. The only thing that I changed was practicing overcoming these things in the lucid dream state. And as you guys can tell, you've probably seen my past pictures, just like wearing all black, being into different music, like going on a completely different life path. You know, my little people who say like scene phase or whatever, like, I don't even put labels on myself. But the only thing I changed from that time to now was lucid dreaming. And so it literally helped me kind of evolve into the person that I knew that I was meant to be. I was just still trying to like find myself until just a few years ago. And the only thing different that I implemented was lucid dreaming. And to me, some of you may not know me really well on a personal level, but for me, that's astonishing because of how big of a difference it has actually made. My mind, I think completely differently. I don't do those things that I thought I was going to have my entire life. Like, my belief systems are different. I've been able to really work on a lot of things within myself, and I want to do that for you guys as well. You know, and even there doesn't have to be anything you need to work on. You know, like if you just want to lucid dream, then just do it. It's all about the experience. But if there's some things, if you're brave enough to dive into your shadow side, so anything that you subconsciously deny, suppress, or disown, you could do that to make your energy lighter and to make your life a little bit easier and to let go of these belief systems and limitations we put on ourselves. If you do want to dive into that, if you're willing to face your shit face to face and actually work through it, it's so easy through lucid dreaming. And again, you don't have to face things you're not ready to face. The cool thing is lucid dreaming is on your own time. It's not like a therapist where you have to tell them certain things at a certain time, or you have to implement things as you go through the process with your therapist. If you want to have a lucid dreaming week and then take a break for a month or whatever, cool, do it. If you want to explore your shadow side or induce a nightmare to see what it's trying to tell you, do it. If you don't and you just want to have fun or not even lucid dreaming at all, then do it. Like, it's all up to you because it's happens in your sleep. You have total control over what happens. And so it's truly an endless limited state. And again, you can be your therapist, your best friend, your coach, your mentor, your travel buddy in the lucid dream, like anything, because it's all you. And this practice shows you that you are all that you'll ever need, because all the things that we can heal in ourselves through lucid dreaming, all the questions we can ask, all the places we could go, we gave that all to ourselves. And so the lucid dream practice really helps me highlight to you guys that you create your own reality and you had all the answers all along. You just weren't aware of them consciously. And it's been proven, you know, non-dualism, everything is technically one. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. And everything is energy at its core. Everything is made of atoms, which is 95 to 99% empty space, which means if it's just energy and it's empty space, that means that our energy, our intention, our expectations can influence it. So literally everything you're experiencing is 95 to 99% empty space. But what we see looks solid, right? That's 1% of your experience. This all feels solid. You feel like you're completely solid. No, you're only experiencing 1%, because we can only interact with visible light, which is 1% of our experience. The rest is empty space, which means it's like energy you can influence. So this is proven. It shows you that you are the creator. And I feel like the lucid dream state gives us access to another frequency, because we're not in the 3D dimension when we're in the lucid dream. Remember that, because if we were in the 3D dimension, the same limitations would apply as this 3D dimension does. But it's proven we're outside of that. So you're interacting with another state of consciousness and being able to actually bring information and experiences and healing from your dreams into another physical, multidimensional reality. This is powerful. This is amazing. And I love to talk to you guys about it. So, and again, if you have any questions, definitely let me know, right? I love physics too. it's crazy how if you have to pee while you're sleeping, you'll have to pee in your dream. Yes, it's because our brain cannot tell the difference between dreaming, imagination, or being awake. When you're in the dream and when you're lucid dreaming, your brain thinks that you're actually awake. And so the body acts the same way, the brain acts the same way. And that's why healing works. That's why practicing skills work, because in the lucid dream, your brain is still turned on, which means it can still learn and take in information. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's not just a dream practice where it's only like beneficial in that realm when you're sleeping. It's literally beneficial all around because our brain is still awake while we are dreaming, which means it can still learn things. It can still heal using the placebo effect. We can rewire our brain or practice skills using neuroplasticity. We can even use it to manifest because, again, like we've talked about, if you're wanting to manifest money and when you're in the lucid dream, your brain thinks you're awake and you actually count $1,000 in your lucid dream, your brain thinks you're awake. And so it's actually going to think you have that money. So even previously, if you thought you didn't deserve that money or you couldn't receive that money, now that's gone because you've proven to your brain that it is possible. And now you're in the frequency of having instead of the frequency of lack because it physically sees you holding money and it thinks it's real. So it can rewire our brain too to help manifestation. And so only mirror, is it normal to have a different temperature when I dream? And sometimes I also wake up to take water and have the feeling like I was next to a loudspeaker. So with the temperature, our body doesn't actually need to take in as much air when we're sleeping, so we might not be able to breathe as deeply, and also our temperature actually drops as well. So you're going to notice some changes in the body as you're going into sleep because it's a different state of consciousness. So if you do feel the temperature drop or anything, it is normal. And if you are experiencing really sunny weather in your lucid dream, or in your dream and you're in Arizona, you'll actually wake up and probably feel a little bit more hot because, again, your brain is awake and it thinks you're actually experiencing that. And so the body is going to react in the same way. So I hope that makes sense. And the loudspeaker thing is really interesting. Sometimes when I am waking up, that's when we are kind of in contact with the non-physical frequencies. That's when we're on like the edge of experiencing sleep paralysis. We hear noises. We feel like we're spinning or moving on our bed. That's because we're interacting with things that are not in our non-physical frequency or in our physical frequency. And so that may be what you're experiencing, but it's different for me every time. Like sometimes I'll be laying there and I'll hear like my closet door opening and closing, or I'll feel like something is like right here, or I'll like, one time, oh my God, this was so crazy. I had sleep paralysis and I was on my side and I was inducing it for an out-of-body experience. And I literally felt my body being dragged off the bed and I was just like staying like this. And I was like, okay, just relax, because it feels so real, right? And I felt someone, I thought he was at work at the time, and I thought he just got home because I heard the front door open. So I was like, oh no, like, is this a lucid dream? Is this sleep paralysis? Is this actually happening? What should I do? And I just decided to stay still because I was like, what are the odds that this happens while I'm trying to induce sleep paralysis? And then I hear someone come into the room, and I hear the feet touching the carpet, like walking up. I was like, oh my God. And it was like facing my back, so I actually couldn't see. I was like, oh my fucking God, is there someone actually in my room? What's happening? I just decided to hold still because I was like, I really don't want to mess up the sleep paralysis state again. So I stayed still, guys, and then I felt someone sit on the fucking bed, like no fucking joke, like seriously. I was like, oh my God, sit on the bed. Like I felt it go down, and then I felt someone put their arm around me. And I almost lost my shit, like so close, because it felt so real. And I thought someone just like walked into my house and sat on my bed and put their arm around me. I'm like, what the hell is actually happening? So that was real. So yes, you'll be able to experience really weird shit when this happens. And it's usually just because you're connecting with the non-physical realm. So they may be just parts of your imagination. They may be dream hallucinations. They may be actual entities. Regardless, you're completely safe. Last time I got out of my body, I just heard lots of cheering, and I was actually having a hard time getting out of my body because sometimes like you can get your arms out of your physical body, and like, but sometimes like your head gets stuck, or like your hips, or like one leg, and you just feel like you're like dangling off the bed or like spinning. Like, it's so weird. you're like, okay, well, this happened today. Today's pretty eventful, but like I think it was like my chest or something that was stuck, but like my legs and my arms could get out. So I'm just like trying to like stretch out, and I asked for help, and I said, okay, archangels, spirit guides, like any past loved ones, anyone who wants to help me get out of my body should help me now, because I'm having a hard time. And all of a sudden I felt a hand grab my ankle and literally yanked me off the bed. And I was like, oh my God. And as soon as I got yanked off the bed, I heard just like clapping and cheering, like, yeah. And so whatever that was, I experienced it, whether that was a dream, hallucination, actually connecting with the non-physical realm, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, we can experience these things, and it's been proven it's in a different state than a lucid dream, which makes it even more mysterious. Because those who say, oh, you had an out-of-body experience, no, that was just a lucid dream. Actually, your brain waves fire differently in the lucid dream. We can actually see the point of consciousness in the lucid dream in the brain, but in the out-of-body experience, they call it an unknown brainwave. It's not associated with any other brainwaves. And so I love to be like, well, actually, just because some people have a hard time believing in it, well, whatever it is, it's not a lucid dream. So what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? In a dream state, I had a conversation with my spouse and woke up and the same convo happened. Yeah, sometimes you'll have prophetic things happen, and it's not impossible because, you know, time is nonlinear. Time is created by us to help us kind of organize our life in a more efficient way. And we don't really go off the circadian rhythm anymore. But, I mean, I try to, but you know what I mean. So we can actually interact with timelines or things happening in the future or the past or in the present, because again, they're literally all the same. We just put labels on them to identify if it's something that we feel has already happened, is happening, or hasn't happened yet. We put labels on these experiences, but it's all happening at the same time. So that's why sometimes we can connect with things in our dreams before we can actually connect with them in waking life, which is so cool. It's so interesting. And this isn't woo-woo shit. Like, I know some people probably think I'm just like woo-woo or whatever the hell you want to call it. Guys, no. Maybe. But with this, it's literally because I found such a huge fascination in lucid dreaming, and I figured out how it was so connected to ancient traditions. You can look into this. Like, lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences have been practiced for thousands and thousands of years. It is everywhere. And why would we let that stop now? Like, such an amazing thing where they knew that they had to carry on this information. So they left us clues and they left us information on these states. Like, why would we just not fucking do it? Like, you know, even if we want to put like labels on what they are, just do it for the experience. It's fun. Like, we don't have, you know, like, whether you want to call it an out-of-body experience, lucid dream, whatever it is, you should try to induce sleep paralysis and go for something, you know? Like, it's just so fun to experience. It's literally a whole world. I mean, we sleep for a third of our lives, which is literally 30 years. Would you rather spend your 30 years asleep, like actually unconscious and not remember anything? Or would you rather spend your 30 years to actually get all your sleep, but practice skills, get information, and actually see yourself from the other side that you've never seen yourself before? You're not interacting with yourself as yourself now. You're literally seeing a reflection of yourself. And that's why lucid dreaming is so powerful, because if you can connect with yourself and actually talk to yourself, you see yourself from a completely different perspective. Like, it's not even you, it's someone else. And that's sometimes what it takes to realize what we need to do in our life to let things go or to make things better, because we don't see it from such a biased perspective anymore. So I hope that makes sense. My stepdad is Indian, and he was very spiritual in a way most people don't understand. Yeah, definitely. And I love like the Indian traditions, like Middle Eastern traditions in general, like so powerful. And that's what a lot of what I teach is based off of as well. I'm really attached to Tibetan dream yoga and their take on lucid dreaming, because they see it as being able to connect with higher frequencies, gods or godlike energy, if you want to call it that, Buddha-like nature. Like, we come in contact with this part of ourselves that is hidden deep within our mind. We literally experience allness, thisness, oneness through our dreams. Like, And I know it probably sounds like weird to some people that have never tried it, but like, you'll see what I mean. You'll see why I'm freaking crazy about it once you start experiencing it, because it literally is the best. But I just wanted to come on and tell you guys about that because it's so fun, and I wanted to help kind of break away any things that you're experiencing that you think might be not doing anything really for you in your lucidity practice. That's why I kind of wanted to break down some of the issues that may be occurring as to why you can't remember your dreams, because this is a team. Like, this is not just me giving you information. I want to create conversations and actually create literally a lucid dream team over this. So if you haven't even checked out my group, you can find it at Haylee Lynn's Lucid Dream Team, and you can ask tons of questions on there. Tons of stuff. Like, I just want to be able to connect with you guys and help you in any way that you see fit. So you can post techniques in there, post questions, post anything that you think is related to what people need or dreaming in general. Like, it's a community where we can grow and experience lucidity in a safe place. And that's what I want to create. Also, and I mentioned it earlier, but if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, make sure to check it out. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. That way my information reaches more people, and it would really help me out to be able to continue to do this. And I love posting videos. I'm just getting the link right now, and being able to connect with you guys in any way that I can. So if it interests you, I will post the link in here. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content I create. Don't do it just to do it. Like, I want you to actually like the information if you want to subscribe. And also, for those of you who are not in my course community yet, I have that 40-part lucid dreaming course, which I will be adding to 40 videos, step by step, literally into sections, to make it as easy as I can for you to, from not even being able to remember your dreams, to be able to really build up your dream recall, create and induce lucid dreams that will, and spontaneously, so you don't even have to try, and use it for serious self-transcendence and healing. So if you are interested in my course, then definitely check it out, and I will add you to my private Facebook course community group where we have meetings. We can all bring our dream journals, talk about our dream signs, what techniques we're using, which ones we would like to use. Like, literally, like I told you, we're all a team. There's no hierarchy. We're literally all on our lucidity practice together, and I want to be able to connect with you guys in the easiest way possible. And since I do put a lot of energy and time into my course and my YouTube channel, those are going to be amazing places to find me and be able to connect with me more. Again, guys, if you have any questions or anything at all that I can do to help you in your lucidity journey, definitely let me know. I will definitely be back soon. I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit. Thank you all so much for joining. I love you all so much. Let's stay in touch for sure, and I hope to see you guys here again. As always, I'm wishing you endless love and endless lucidity. Bye, my loves. Love you.